Hello everyone, my name is Usaid and I am the instructor for this tutorial. Welcome to the UA Studios branding session for iOS tutorials. Today what I will tell you is very important for every iOS developer because whenever you start a new project, uh, it's uh, it's recommended you should develop an environment uh, for different schemes, right? Let's say you have a development environment, then you have this UAT or QA environment, and last you have stable or production environment. So how would you maintain your different keys and different URLs, or maybe you have implemented Firebase. So how would you maintain these keys, URLs or Firebase, Google Service Info.plist files? How would you maintain in your project for every for every environments, let's say development and production. So in order to achieve this, what we create different schemes for debug, development and QA or production in Xcode, right? So today I will tell you how you can achieve these things. So to begin with, let's create a new Xcode project here. So open your Xcode. Now go to create a new Xcode project. Here select single view app. Give it a name. I will say environment schemes com.ustudios dot environment scheme. Okay. Then select the directory. We have created a new project. Let's run this in the simulator. So our project is working fine. Now let's begin creating different schemes for different environments. Okay, to create a new scheme, select this project here. Then in the settings here for the general, we have this project environment schemes. Here we have, you can see in the info tab and this configuration uh, portion, we have this debug and release, right? So what we will do, just rename this debug into dev debug and this release into dev release, right? Then create another scheme, another configuration here by clicking at the plus and select duplicate dev debug configuration, and you will rename it into only debug, right? Now similarly, what we will do, create another configuration here by clicking the add here, then duplicate dev debug, select rename into dev QA, or QA debug, then select add another one with the dev release, rename it into QA release. So we have dev debug, dev release, QA debug, QA release, and debug only, right? Now we will create a production release, production debug. So duplicate dev debug, rename it into production debug. Now we will create another with the duplicate of dev release into production release. Create different schemes here. So to create a new scheme, select product, then scheme into manage schemes. Right here we have the single environment scheme. So select this one and here add it, right? Then select debug for this scheme. For every tabs here, select debug for this scheme. Right. So now manage scheme here again. Now let's add another scheme here. If you want to add another scheme, so select this environment scheme here and rename into dev underscore environment scheme, or maybe just dev into environment schemes, right? And make sure you have selected this shade here. We have created a dev environment scheme. Now select added. Okay, let me check. Now select dev environment schemes and then select added. Okay, now since it was a dev environment scheme, so we have to set development and release environments related to our scheme here. So in the run, we will select dev debug. In test, we will select dev debug. In profile, we have dev release already selected, so we don't have to. Similarly, in the analyze, we will select dev debug, and then we have this dev release already selected. So now we have to do all these steps again for the QA environment scheme and production environment scheme. So select add. Here we will select QA environment schemes, then add it. Here select QA debug. Similarly for test, QA debug. For profile, QA release. Similarly for analyze, QA debug, and archive, QA release. Now manage scheme again. We need to add for production environment scheme. So production, select production environment scheme. Make sure you have selected the shade, added. Similarly here production debug. Then for profile we have production release. Similarly for analyze, production debug, production release. So we have for run, we have dev debug, production debug. For test, we have production debug. For profile, we have production release, analyze. For analyze, we have production debug, and for archive, we have production release. So now, as you can see, we have environment scheme, that is for debug. Then we have development environment schemes. Then we have QA environment schemes, and then last we have production environment schemes. As you can see, if I select here, I have different schemes for my different environments. Next step is we will add different bundle identifiers for different environment schemes, right? For let's say for development we need different app, for QA we need different app, and for production we need different app. So for different bundle identifier we will be able to create different apps. So uh, in the target, select target environment schemes, then go to build settings. Here search for bundle identifier here, then uh, then click on this product bundle identifier. You will see different, for different environments we can set bundle identifier. So what I will do, uh, I will copy the same thing, com.uastudios.environment schemes, then I will add underscore here debug. Similarly, dev with release, dev for production, QA, QA, QA. Right. So so with different bundle identifier, we will be able to create different apps, right? We can add different app name here for every environment. We can have different info plist files. Also, we can have different signing and capabilities here. As you can see, I have sign in, development, debug, and development release. I can associate different accounts to our different environments. And let's say for development and QA we will have let's say you are working for some company, or let's say it's your product. So what you will do, for development, company or yourself have the same account, have an account. So you will add and sign in development and sign in QA, right? For production, client will give you a live account, so you will add live account here in your in your this sign in and capabilities account portion, right? So you will add different accounts. So in this way you can maintain different accounts for different environments, right? So you can be able to upload into two different what you can say, let's for the iTunes account. So one more thing, why we do this because let's say we have a project in which we will use as a product. So for this, with the help of this, we can have same code for every project, but we can create different app with one source code, right, with the help of these environment schemes. Now go to the build settings. Here search for general, select environment, then build settings. Here search for compilation active compilation conditions. Here we have different environment schemes. Now we will add conditional flags here. So add local, then dev debug, add dev, then for release simply add dev. Similarly, for the product debug, we will add production, and for production release, we will add production here. Similarly with the QA, right? We are adding this compile custom flags here because of with the help of these flags we can run our code based on the environment settings, right? So let's say we have different URLs for development, QA, and production. With the help of these flags, we can run at runtime what URL we are running, right? So now go to app delegate file here and it did finish launching with options here. We will run if local. You will say print local if def say print def. Let's say if QA it will be else if print QA similarly else if production it will be else production print production here hashtag and if. Okay, I think we are good to go now. Build our project here. As you can see, we have selected this local environment. So I think so it should print local, right? So let's wait. Okay, sorry, we have selected here production, so it print the production. So now if I select QA environment and build again, let's say what it will print. Let's see, it should print QA environment. On the basis of these check, we can run. As you can see, it's printed QA. So what I was telling you guys, with the help of these flags, we can run what code we want to run with the based on the environment schemes, right? Now if I select development, it should print dev. As you can see, it's printed dev. So what we did, we have created different environments, different schemes for different environments, right? We have development environment, we can have a QA environment, and we can have production environment. Now if I open my simulator here, you will see we have three different apps here. So this one would be the production, this one would be the QA, and this one would be the development app, right? So let's say I want to give an app name based on the environment. So what I will do, I will go to this project here, then select target. Here I will search for no, I will add user defined string here, and this string would be app name. So Now I will add app name here. So my app name would be environment schemes into debug. Similarly, we will add dev. Similarly here, production. QA. QA as well. So we have different app name for different environment. Now go to the info.plist file. Here search for app name. Okay, that's product name. Here we will replace this product name with the app name. Right, it's an app name. Okay, now run this project. You will see here we have different app name for based on the environment schemes. So environment scheme dev. Now if I select product QA, we have the QA here. As you can see, environment schemes QA. So now let's say since this project was newly set up and it is without the pod file. Let's say you are doing this in the development phase. So you have different pod files, different pod projects. So how would you add this? While following these complete step, when you will build the project, you will get an error here stating that something similar with the pod unable to run a pod or something like this. To resolve this error, what you will do, uh, go to the project directory. Okay, let me check where is my project. You will go to the project directory. Have this Xcode. Let's say I have this project where I have pods folder and pod file and pod log. So what you will do, delete these two files, pod file.log and pods project, delete it, and in the terminal type navigate to project directory and type pod install. It will install every projects from the scratch, and then you will be able to run your project successfully with the pods files. Now at the last, uh, I thought I should share this thing with you guys as well. So let's say you have added Firebase project here, and let's say you have added Firebase database, or let's say Firebase storage. So in the production environment and the development or QA, the Firebase database or the storage would be different, right? So how would you manage these two things in your project based on the environments? So what you will do, although I'm not doing it, showing it how I did, because I have not added any pod files here. Let's say you have added the pod file and everything. So what you will do, you will add two different Google service info.plist files here, right? So for development, let's rename that file into Google Service Info dash dev, and for production, whatever you get from the Firebase console, you will paste it here with the same name as well. So Google Service Info, right? So I have created this function called setup Firebase config files, which takes a file name, and then we have let file path. We get that file part and set up on the Firebase configure options, right? So that's the function. It will work. It is working correctly. I have checked on my live projects, and I have used this code on my live projects. So I thought I should share with you guys as well. So that's the code, and based on the environments, you will set the file name here on your did finish launching with options, right? So then you will be able to run you will be able to select Firebase databases based on your environments.